Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Good afternoon and welcome to That Silverline Show on Tuesday. I am your host, Tim TK, joined by Quentin Bedwell.
Hey everybody, nice to be here. Glad to be here and see everybody again. I missed last week, so doing well.
I also missed last week due to some health issues, but I think we're all feeling better. And also joined by Jose Fuentes.
Hello, all. I did not miss last week.
You try hard. Do-gooder.
Right? That was fun. It was interesting. Like, me and Aaron could probably talk for days, I think.
Sure. And speaking of Aaron, he is missing this week because he is going to watch Macross. I believe he said it was Plus. They finally They finally got the U.S. release of that, so they're doing it one night only in theaters, and a select few. So, the movie's actually old. It came out in like 95. We're just now getting the U.S. edition of it, but Macross, for those of you who don't know, is part of the beloved Robotech franchise, and is probably the second most well-known mecha series to Gundam. It's also probably one of the most unique in that it is like it's a half transformer. Yes, I love it. Jose, we did give you a challenge in the chat before this. Were you able to watch an episode before
I actually watched 2 episodes.
Nice.
I
Nice.
don't like subtitles. That's probably why I don't like most anime, right? And no offense to anime, like the art is amazing on some of them. Some of them, not so much. But I don't like reading,
Mm,
like because I'm the kind of person like I want to listen to it and like turn when something happens while I'm
sure.
working, right? And so I have to sit down to read. Okay, now I look away for a minute. Oh, they're talking again. I need to go back. But it was interesting. You know what I mean? I actually didn't know that it was it like the beginning of Robotech or something like that, or
Yeah.
like a section of it, right?
It was
That
like
the beginning of Robotech?
it's like the origin of it. Yeah. The super was it Super Dimension Fortress Macross was like the first
Yeah.
iteration of the story.
So that was interesting. It went fast. The
Yeah.
subtitles. So I did the best I could to keep up. I think I understand a portion of it. It's a pretty formulaic like show in that there is the rebel kind of kid, teenager or whatever,
Mhm.
and then there's like the hard nosed boss guy who's like
Yeah.
just strict and rigid, and you know what I mean. Evidently, the rebel has to be the one to come and save the day ever so often. But at the beginning of the first episode, he did not save
No.
the day.
No.
He got knocked down, and he's like, "I don't know how to get up." That was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another reason why I think it gets a lot of praise, and I think rightly so. They did well for the most part. The main timeline, it does follow that same shonen storyline of punk or rebel hero. But there's not like it's not an overwhelming amount of like chosen one complex.
Right.
Like with with like Naruto or Dragon Ball, like there's points that they lose, but they can almost do no wrong. Whereas with Macross Hoisington, to that point, where like this kid gets beat up quite a bit and hard.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I may continue to watch it, but I have to finish watching Cowboy Bebop first.
Oh yeah, an old time classic.
Yes.
Now,
I just started watching the I started watching the live action first because I never even watched the cartoon, the anime, and I got about 3 episodes in, and I was like, I'm just curious how this compares to the anime.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna watch a couple episodes of that to see how close they parallel, right? And it's not too bad. There are some things in the anime that you can't translate into live action. You
for sure.
can't. I mean, and I've heard that fans got like super like mad about it, and even so, like that Netflix canceled the show, the live action one.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't just that; it's also the fact that it just didn't perform as well as there's more of a the reviews towards this one were like on the upper end of mediocre first prime views.
Yeah.
Death Note 2 got absolutely lambasted in the reviews, but or Death Note, the live action movie, got lambasted in the reviews, but
I heard that as well.
It got watched enough that they're able to greenlight a second one, but there just wasn't enough initial viewership on Netflix to say they got their money's equivalent back in views back on it. Yeah.
But I liked it. I like the soundtrack. The the musical overlay or underlay. Anyway, I like the music on it. It's very jazzy. It was very like I don't know. I thought it was different than the anime, but I don't know. I liked it. I liked where it was going. I think I'm like 5 episodes in. I think maybe not quite. Maybe I'm still only on 4.
Mm-hmm.
So. But I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish watching that, and I'm gonna end up watching the entire anime one, just because I already started it.
Yeah, I love the anime, and I love the movie that they did to kind of tie up the story. The anime, I couldn't get into the live action one. It didn't feel as it didn't have the same character. That may have just been my experience with the anime having a longer history with that, but. It just didn't feel like it had the same character that I was expecting.
You're talking about for Spike in particular?
For Spike and just the overall like tone of the show, it felt like it. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why it didn't do well,
Right.
because
Yeah.
other people picked up on the same thing as you did.
It's very possible. All right, we're gonna get back into our normal routine of things for tonight's episode. The race is gonna be kind of a weird one today because this is our last Tuesday show of the year. So this is going to be our Life Day special. We're going to talk a little bit about fictional holidays at some point in here, but it's just going to be mostly vibing and chilling. We do have the Silverline Christmas party, which is going to be live next week on the 22nd. But
what time? Do you know?
I believe it's 8 Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will be on there. But for now, we're just kind of taking it easy and sending out the year, I guess. So, Quentin, this last week or 2 weeks even, what have you been watching, reading, enjoying?
I always think of stuff afterward, but you know what? I was telling you that I was introducing to my kids Lord of the Rings. I've tried before. They were a little too young. They're 5 and 6. They were a little too young to keep up with the low parts, like the story building parts before. But my son, I tried him again on it now a year later, and he is in love with Lord of the Rings. He's watching now The Hobbit, and man, he is just all in it. He loves Sauron. He does not like the White Wizard. I don't know why, but he does not like Saruman. I love Saruman.
Yeah.
But I think I love Saruman just because he carries a lot of weight early on, and the actor that they chose to play him, Christopher Lee, is my all-time favorite actor. So they couldn't have picked a better guy to play Saruman. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Other than that, I've been trying to watch some Christmas movies. All I've gotten so far is Home Alone 1 and 2.
Okay.
But during Christmas time, we have a set. It's our custom, our tradition in our house that we have a certain line of movies that we have to watch. They're musts. And so whenever movie time comes around, we have to watch these particular movies. And I'm not going to name them all, but we did watch Christmas Vacation, and we'll watch that one probably a couple times because that's our favorite.
Sure.
By the way, I did go see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
And I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. A lot of people were mediocre about it and everything, but I loved it because it was just fun. It was a good enough storyline. I don't want to give any spoilers away for anybody who might not have seen it yet, but there were some things I wish would have been done, but those were so small, and the fact that they did not inject any kind of anything real into it, like everyday, like politics. I'll just say it. They didn't inject any kind of politics in it. It was just fun. It was just a really good movie. It was like sitting down and watching an early 2000s or 90s movie. And it was straightforward, right? Picked pretty much from Ghostbusters 1 and 2, mostly 1. It was a sequel to those. It was
I heard
sequel.
it was a really, like, people were really happy with like whatever homage they had in it. Like, I've not seen it, but
I wish that they'd have given it more press, because I'm telling you, if it would have had more press, I think it would have done so much better. Of course, there was a lot of controversy around it because people were making controversy because of Ghostbusters 2016. Just a few people with a big megaphone making noise and trying to throw dirt on it. And, in spite of that, it was a great movie. And another thing that's really cool about it is it did pretty much as good as that one with like half the budget.
Huh.
And after
Interesting.
watching it, I was wondering how did they do half the budget, because I never watched the other one. But I don't see how you could have done more effects and stuff. I mean, it was intense. It was just a great, great movie. It's one of the best movies I've seen in a while. And some people might come after me on that, but I mean, it literally was one of those movies that I just sat down and I actually, for the first time, probably since the Avenger films, all the way up to Endgame, just had fun. Just enjoyed it. It was a great movie. And there was no, well, they got to have their little soapboxes and they got to have their little, pulpits and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was very satisfied with it. Have not seen Venom yet, and I want to see that one. Can't wait for Morbius. There's a lot of stuff coming on Disney Plus that I can't wait for. The Book of Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
Kenobi, which is coming out later. I just cannot wait for all the stuff that's coming out.
The Expanse just started up. This weekend is Spider-Man and Witcher. Then we Witcher drops.
Yeah.
And then next week is Book of Boba Fett, and I believe what else is coming out on the 22nd? I just saw a thing about it. I'm just gonna type in.
Maybe I won't be at the Silverline Christmas party.
I know. Releases. It was. Oh, maybe I can't find it. Oh, no, there it is. And Matrix comes out on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually want to see that as well. I loved Matrix when it came out back in the day.
Yeah.
That thing was like, man, all the parodies from that movie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm interested in just definitely seeing where we go with this one, because 2 and 3 got a little weird. But Matrix 1 is a classic. So
yeah, the first one was to me the absolute best.
Yeah. All right. Well, move on to Jose. What have you been reading, watching, enjoying, playing, getting around to?
I started reading. Was it Batman Scarecrow? It's a 2-issue miniseries, right? And it's kind of like an origin story for Scarecrow. It's pretty interesting. And I have something talking. What is that?
Someone's Alexa.
Skynet, right? Give me one.
Be nice to her.
Yep.
When she gets her body.
Oh, yeah, it's game over.
You want her to remember you as being the nice human.
Yeah. Well, they did try to have that UN resolution on banning killer robots. So
right,
we've reached that point in the Skynet timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's anytime anything comes on. And that was weird. Like I thought I disabled Siri.
Oh yeah.
On my iPad, because I think it's crazy that she talks to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just that kind of weird guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I started. Obviously, we're watching Christmas shows as well because Christmas, and we start with the classics. You know what I mean? For us, classics like we started with White Christmas, and then like other ones. Like then we're gonna watch Holiday Inn. We watch that around New Year's, but we've already watched the Santa Clauses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna switch to, or we're gonna watch as it gets once the kids start Christmas break, which they don't start Christmas break till the 23rd. But then 23rd we're gonna watch Rudolph, classic Rudolph.
Yes. Rankin Bass.
Heck yeah. So
yeah, baby.
And then Christmas for us, and like not ends, but like we finish Christmas Day by watching A Christmas Story.
Nice.
Like we save that one specifically for Christmas. So like stuff like that. Like But as for reading Scarecrow, and I got gifts today in the mail. Like, I was so happy. Like, it's always happy when you get gifts, right? And I'm gonna give a little shout out here to Mike Belcher, because he just sent me a stack of Man in the Mask comics, right?
Wow.
And like, I was so happy like that he sent it. A piece that I colored ended up in the
Nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like, he sent that to me. He sent it to Christmas. I was like, oh my gosh, he's like the nicest guy ever. But yeah. And then I'm sending Christmas ornaments to people. I gave one to one of my friends. Like, we were working together in the Walmart DC in QA, and we just became really close. Like we call each other brother and sister. That's how close we are. And I gave her a Nightmare Before Christmas ornament, like a clear ornament, like a glass ornament that I painted. And then I'm got to finish up one more of Jack Skellington and Sally, right? Sally's the ragdoll girl.
Yes.
And I'm sending those to my boss, who she used to work with us at the DC. She was our boss in QA, and I called her mom. Like, she was younger than I am, and I called her mom because like me and a couple of the other girls in QA would like get into a fight, just start yelling at each other, and she'd just come in and say, "You guys need to stop." I was like, "Okay, mom," and it just like it went on from there. So yeah, she's a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, so I'm gonna send her some stuff.
Perfect. Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my go-tos. Like, every October and December, I have to watch it. Tommy Flormonti says, "What's up, fellas?" Hey, Tommy, we are just talking about recapping our weeks, what media we've been enjoying or what we've been up to. I hope you're having a good night as well.
Yeah. Other than that, I am grinding and working on inks for obsolete now that I have both eyes working.
Nice. Yeah. How are things now that you can see again?
Depth perception is something that people clearly do not take or do not like understand until it's not there.
Right. Yeah.
And I had no depth perception. I was knocking cups over. Like, I had to like angle my hand to hit it and then grab it something. But like today, I was replenishing the water for our birds, and I was like pouring like nothing, because usually I'm like lining it up. You know what I mean? Using my finger to make sure. But like, I was doing it like no problem. I was like, yes.
Nice.
So yeah, as soon as like the double vision went away after surgery, you get like double vision, and then I had this like red spot for about a day and a half. And once that was gone, I whipped out my iPad and just started working.
Wow.
I was so happy just to be able to like see and whatnot. And I started doing sketch cards for fun and just to add to my, warm up and stuff like that. Like, I'm doing Squirrel Girl.
Nice. That's awesome.
But yeah, those are like warm up, cool downs and whatnot. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm just ecstatic. I truly am a blessed man to have both my eyes working.
I know.
Well, I actually like Jose. I just actually started drawing as well, because sitting and haven't been able to really sit for a long period of time. So that's good. Man, art for me anyway, I don't know how it is for anybody else, but it is like the best therapy. And I miss it when I'm not doing it. And even if I go off and do crafting or whatever, and I've done some craft stuff, I'll have some stuff to show later when we get a spot in the show. But man, it really is therapy, just to clear your mind and, just get off into some far away world somewhere. And it's pretty awesome. I'm sure writing is the same way for you, huh, Tim?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's, you're turning off your normal brain and just turning on, or going back to straight imagination. You're, losing 20, 30 years of, stress, build up anxiety, and just focusing on what is cool and what is fun, and really letting that flow through, so you're not caught up. You're living in the moment, as as some would say. You're not thinking elsewhere.
You can really see how people like Tolkien and like J.K. Rowling and all them, just these amazing worlds that they build or have built. You can definitely see over time how just that was probably their escapes from everything,
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Might I add also, I'm sure you guys saw, Anne Rice died?
Yeah.
That was sad.
Yes.
Sad. It's like I didn't read everything she had, but there were several of the Vampire Chronicle books that I really liked.
Yes.
In particular, I liked, The Body Thief? I thought that was a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Pandora was a great one.
Even if you're didn't read her work necessarily, you probably have experienced her influence in something else because of just how much she did for not just like vampire and paranormal writing, but also just the she revitalized the epistolary almost with Interview with a Vampire and she definitely did a lot for fantastical literature.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What I have done with my week is played a lot of Halo. The campaign dropped on Wednesday, and I've had some family medical issues come up, so Burke gave me time off to be there in case anything happened, which thankfully nothing did, and now insurance is...
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I just downloaded the campaign.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll avoid spoilers. I'm insured through my family, so everything is good and taken care of, but I essentially just had 2 days off of moderate stress, so I spent a lot of time beating the Halo campaign.
Nice.
It really is what you put into it. It took me about 14 hours to get through it. And then I started playing competitive Halo, so I switched over to the ranked matchmaking. I got my placement in gold. So I've been grinding that out and just been pretty much feeling that vibe. So I started watching the Halo invitation. My watching was also Halo over the weekend because they had the invitational leading into the kickoff event this weekend. And now competitive Halo is a thing again, and it's huge. They sold out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a resurgence of just awesome title.
I know. I saw they shut down Raleigh pretty much. They the Raleigh Convention Center is sold out. All the city has posters and like stuff up for like, hey, like welcome to Raleigh, like enjoy the Halo or whatever. So you just have a bunch of Spartans and Master Chiefs all around the city.
That would be a good time.
Right. So I maybe September they're doing the Orlando Major for the Halo Championship Series.
Neat.
So I may be flying down there. Maybe
making a road trip to visit us.
Yeah, maybe.
Nice.
Either that, or I'll try to make it to the finals, which are going to be in Seattle. So that's just a few hours away from me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's a big thing again. And so being someone who most of my mid early 2010s was Halo 3 clan battles. I'm super into it. Yeah.
I remember that.
That's been great.
I don't know. I liked the Halos, like right from the gate. And all the Halo games. Like 2 is probably my favorite.
So
2,
one
dual wheel pistols. And it actually, like, one of the things I wished, like, when I played the first one, I was like, it's cool, you're on the Halo ring, and you're, woods and nature and all that, but, like, how awesome would it be to, like, run as Master Chief through, like, a cityscape, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then flipping Halo 2 came out, and you're running through a cityscape. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. We need more of this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. That was dope.
I'm not any good at the multiplayer. Like, I'll be honest. Like, anytime I hop in a party and like, oh, hey, welcome and whatnot, and I'm like, I just want to let you guys know right out the gate, I'm here to be your handicap.
Yes.
Like, in bowling, you have your average and a handicap. I'm the handicap. I just want to let you know right now.
Perfect.
And most
That's what
people would laugh until they saw it. I wasn't lying.
Well, Infinite now is cross-platform, so we can play together regardless. So we'll get on together, and I'll boost you. We'll get you boosted.
Oh, heck yeah.
Either that, or you'll get matched in my matchmaking, and it will not be fun.
Then I'll boost you.
Yes.
Like, how many kills did you get? Well, like I killed Jose like 100 times. So you're welcome in advance.
There we go. Yeah. It's been a blast. On that, I've been reading. I got the trade in for Star Wars, the Bounty Hunter Wars.
Nice.
And that's been super fun. Written by Charles Soule. A bunch of different artists worked on it. But it's following Boba Fett after he captures Han Solo. The carbonite freezing goes wrong. He has to get that fixed. And then Solo ends up getting stolen up from underneath him while he's getting repairs done. And it's essentially Boba versus every bounty hunter in the galaxy trying to get Solo back. Yeah. So I just read through a part where he blew Bosk's legs off and tied him up to a rock in the middle of a cold planet.
Oh no, Bosk!
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
you know that there's some people that are crazy over Bosk.
Mm-hmm.
They love him as much as they do Boba Fett.
Oh yeah,
they may not now though.
Right,
they may not like Boba Fett after this.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, when you get into like the expanded universe of Star Wars, the bounty hunter stuff is some of the best because it takes the classic Star Wars feel and turns it into kind of a Western, but like the good guys are not like as good as they probably could be. Yeah, it's a blast so far, and it gets me even more excited for a Book of Boba Fett.
What was the game that had Dash Rendar? What was that? Shadow of the Empire?
Shadow of the Empire, yeah. Yes.
I remember playing that on Nintendo 64.
Oh, yeah. He's also just one of the best smugglers to exist in Star Wars lore. Yeah. He's I believe they also did some stuff with him in the books in the Legends lore. So you get to see some stuff once actually types in the fact that he's force sensitive and
nice. That's
does
cool.
a little bit of training with Luke. It's dope.
Right on. That's the one thing I remember before all the other expanded stuff, like Dash Render and all that. I played the Star Wars role playing game. I remember playing both the original like system, which ran off like D6s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I played that first, and then they had the newer system. I don't remember who put it out, but then they switched it to D20 system.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there's the two ones, and then they just actually did a couple years ago. They did the anniversary of the original system. I think they had like the 20 or 30 year anniversary of that or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, and you can get that as a box set. But yeah, now it's interesting to see where it'll go from here because the current role playing systems are combined into 3 books, and they're put out by Fantasy Flight. But Fantasy Flight just canned their entire RPG division.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. So
that's a big book.
Yeah. So this is Age of Rebellion. It's one of the core books. Another one of the cores is Edge of the Empire, which is all about.
That's the newer ones.
Yes.
So I think I may have ones like before that.
Yes. Yeah. So there's like 2 cores that had a couple editions that came out before they got switched over to this system. And then there's one more called Legacy of the Force, I believe, which is your Jedi / New Republic book.
Right.
But that one I haven't had a chance to get my hands on yet outside of PDF format, thanks to Drive Through RPG.
I just bought my first book off that.
It's a pretty nifty site, given how hard it is to get some of these RPG books sometimes.
Right.
This year I got my Champions book.
Yeah, I bought a Vampire Dark Ages book off that.
Nice. Yeah. Vampire is also just I love how weird and expansive it is.
I'll say we've had talks about vampire.
Yeah, the Masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like almost everything about it. Just the except for, was it 4th edition? It got weird.
Mm.
And then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yes.
That's cool, man. So you say you just started reading the Bounty Hunter Wars?
Yeah, I just started reading. I just finished issue 2. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I want to pick them up. I haven't done it yet. Like, I picked up a few other things. I think I picked up. What's it called? I have it right here. King of Spies.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
Not a kid-friendly book, just to let you know.
Perfect.
But Mateo Scalera's art is just so good. Man, that guy's crazy. Like him and Sean Gordon Murphy, like his work is just he did the Scarecrow, the Batman Scarecrow book that I'm reading.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't look like his stuff he did for, was it White Knight? It doesn't quite look like that. It doesn't look like Chronomancers, but like it's almost like it was done before. I don't think it was, but like just the style of it really reminds me of like, oh, this is what he did before, and then he's refined his art and more stylized it for like as he went further along, and like especially like was it a Tokyo Ghost?
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
That is definitely, you know what I mean. To me, that was definitely like he refined his art to be where he wants it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tokyo Ghost is still one of my favorite books, and it's one of those things that, like, when you look at one of the panels, it has its own identity, and it's exactly where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That was a great series.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we are again. We're doing kind of a weird show, so we're taking a little easier today. We might get into some craft a bit, but we may also end the night with Quentin showing some dioramas, and we might pop into Jackbox for a little bit or something. We'll play it by ear. But given the fact that we are in the time of year, from start of November on, known as the holidays, I figured we'd talk about some of our favorite fake holidays.
Fake.
Yes. Of course, the name of this episode in reference to the greatest holiday special of all time, the Star Wars Life Day special.
I knew you were going to say it. OMG. Somebody somewhere thinks that.
Yes.
Be honest, man. You have this day marked on your calendar.
Yep. I do. That is one of our mandatory viewings is Star Wars Life Day.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of talk about what our favorite holidays are. We might get into the craft of it. How do you world build a fictional holiday, and maybe also how you visually design a fictional holiday.
Right.
So, as divisive as the Life Day special is, I think it's really interesting to have that in Star Wars, where you already have clearly defined religion in the Force, but they just kind of create this random holiday where this is the ubiquitous celebration of all life, and they don't really get into too many. The world building on it is real lax until you get to the Old Republic MMO, in which case they actually go into the event they have in the game, and I want the idea that it might have some connotations to the Force as well as to the builders, and where the holiday originated, how it spread, all that fun stuff, things you need to think about. But for a while there was this kind of oh yes, it's the holiday where we listen to Wookiees yell at each other without good times.
Knowing what they're saying, yeah.
Yeah. And cut to an animated Boba Fett for a little bit. Which
is what that thing was good for,
yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
The animated Boba.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where the retroactively it decided to keep it in and then add lore to it. It's a really interesting retcon in that it was more of a continued continuity rather than an actual, I want to scrap this or change it. They realized like, oh, we should actually, get some substances later on. But
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. But now if you go to Wikipedia and look up Life Day, you can actually get like a full article on its history and all that.
That's crazy. I remember as a kid I actually liked it, and like as an adult I heard so many people like refer back to it in their childhood, like, oh, that was garbage, and I was like I actually kind of enjoyed it. Like,
when I was a kid, I would have liked it had I saw it, but I didn't see it, and I saw it as an adult, and that was like the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And people, when I was about to watch it, I think I saw it on a YouTube thing, and I was like, they were really, really piling down on it. It's like, man, come on, it can't be that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I mean, it is. But like, if you want to, like, to me, like if I watch it, and I've not watched it in a long time, but like if I wanted to watch it, like, listen, I specifically want to watch and just shut off the critic in me and just like reminisce about when I was a kid watching it.
It's also
definitely.
It also makes for a really good like riff tracks watch, or if you just have some of your friends who like that, like your entire thing is just watching objectively bad movies and just
right.
Again, if I would have been if I would have saw it when I was a kid, I would have loved it because I loved everything Star Wars. Because at the time, I was born just before or just after. See, I was born in March. I was. It was too early for me to know Star Wars or go to the movies and see it because I was born in '77 when it came out. And then Empire Strikes Back again. I was just way too young to go to a theater. But my brother, 6 years older than me, and my uncle, who was 7 years older than me, they got to go and they collected the figures and all that stuff. So it naturally, because I couldn't do all that stuff and I wanted to be a part of it. I'd play with all the figures and I'd buy my own figures, and I didn't know what they were, who they were, but I just thought they were really cool and I would play with them. And anybody who had a mask on would be a robot, and finally I got to see them, and man, it was awesome. And then I actually got to go to the movies and see Return of the Jedi.
Nice.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got to watch them at the theater, but like, I know most people hate it and whatnot, but I took my 23-year-old daughter, her first movie like ever was Phantom Menace.
Nice.
Hey, I went to the movies and watched that. I didn't show up for the other ones, but I did go for that one. Actually, you know what? I did actually.
It was a family thing. It was, because I like Star Wars, and my wife, I don't think my wife likes Star Wars as much as I do. And I'm not like this ginormous fan that's going to like nitpick apart, but like just like the idea, the world, you know what I mean? The universe, galaxy of Star Wars, I think personally is just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I read some of the books and I played the role playing games. So like I wanted to go watch them. And so when we knew they were coming out, it ended up becoming a Christmas event for us. Like, we always go watch a movie on Christmas Day. So like it's open presents, go to grandparents' house, open presents, get our, eat some food, go watch a movie, come home, relax, and at the end of the day and whatnot, put on Christmas Story, Yeah. So it became an event for us, and I think we saw whatever was it, The Last Jedi or something like that, the middle one where they were on that red dirt planet one.
Oh yeah, that was Last Jedi. Yeah, they had that. Yeah. That last one, the idea is kind of cool. It's an entire planet of salt.
Yeah. So like, I think we saw that, and then the best one we took the kids to go see, though I feel, in my opinion, was Rogue One.
Rogue One
that was awesome. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we got to the end, I mean, it was just kind of okay, and then it got better and better. But when the end hit, oh my goodness, man, that just drove that whole movie home.
Oh,
just totally took it to the next level. Holy moly, I need to watch this again now.
Yep. Well, the entire Battle of Scarif is, I think, one of the best shown battles in the Star Wars films. But also, just the guess spoiler alert: the movie's old enough that you should have seen it by now.
That's our disclaimer. I think for everything we say that almost every week. We're like, listen, it's been out for 10 years. If you've not seen it by now, it's your fault.
Yes, yeah. But when they cut to Vader on the Corvette and he's just wrecking shop.
Yeah, everybody's looking down the hallway, and then all of a sudden that lightsaber comes out.
Like,
it's like, oh no, it's on now, baby. Y'all have messed up.
Well, so I guess that scene was supposed to be like an additional 20 minutes long or so. But the guy who wrote Rogue One, Gary Whitta, he also wrote Book of Eli, so you know how he works with action scenes.
Yep.
Oh man, Book of Eli is a great movie.
Yeah, but they wanted to have that be like an entire 20 minutes of him just hunting these people down throughout the ship and almost doing like a horror movie where it's just it cut to when rebels are sweating and holding up against the door, lightsaber cuts through.
Well, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that whole section almost did not get put in because of certain people that did not want anything, legacy in there. So I don't know if that's true, but man, that's pretty crazy if it is, because that's the best part for me.
Yeah. They eventually kind of agreed on a middle ground where they didn't get the full rundown sequence, but they got at least something in there. Yeah.
But that in and of itself, it's a separate movie. You know what I mean? It kind of skirts along, the originals and whatnot, but it's its own separate movie, and it's it shoots it off in a different tangent and then brings it back abruptly into the rest of the canon. And so you're like, oh man, it's great. It's basically to me anyway, it was basically Magnificent Seven, you know what I mean, in space. And then loop back up to bring Darth Vader in, and holy God, it was so good, so good.
That's really good.
I can't say that enough.
So that entire attention came to you from Life Day. Of course, there are a number of fictional holidays. I do have the Atlas Obscura pulled up with a list of them. But yes, maybe one of the more just as well notable ones is Festivus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that.
Festivus.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Festivus for the rest of us.
Those who don't want to celebrate Christmas or don't want to celebrate Hanukkah.
Yeah.
It, as far as I know, it was coined in Seinfeld, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Originally, and it was George Costanza's dad and Kramer, hashed out the details to Festivus and the Festivus poll.
Yes. Yeah.
It's such a hilarious episode.
It's really good.
I know so many people that bring it up even now. They're like, happy Festivus and whatnot. I think you guys are killing me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I don't know a lot of them. Good thing you haven't looked up.
Yes. Well, we can also sit on Festivus for a little bit, but it is one of the earliest memes that is just entirely built as a joke. But the amount of world building that went into that, you see it happen on the screen, but they actually do what you do in your world building a holiday. They come up with, the history of the tradition. Or well, what do you do if we don't feel obligated to do Christmas because we're kind of Jewish, but we don't feel Jewish enough to do Hanukkah. And they build a history there, and okay, we need to do our own celebration because we live in a culture that everyone celebrates something at this time of year, so we have to do our own thing. And they they go into, well, what does this look like? Well, we get this giant metal pole put in the living room.
And it's decorated. It's probably decorated with like garland and
Yes.
like was it ornaments or something like that are on it as well.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh.
And then they they go into, well, what are the traditions here? Because we gotta do something to make it like an actual holiday. Well, what if everyone shares, a harsh truth to someone at the table? And then also we have to do we break it we bring it back to primitive masculinity and have a feat of strength, or you wrestle a family member.
Hilarious. That show
It's
It's
so rich,
funny.
it's so funny. And I didn't even realize it, but before I started actually watching the show, my nephew was constantly, and I didn't know this till I started watching the show, but he had constantly been throwing out memes and stuff from the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize till after I started watching the show, wait a minute, that's what Adam was talking about. And I got to looking into it more, and then after I started talking to him, I started noticing, man, he was dropping stuff like all the time.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll have to check up with Aaron when he's back. See if he has watched the Festivus episode yet.
Oh, that's right, because he's working through the Seinfeld episode.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, it was really weird. Kind of going back and thinking on that episode later as a writer, how they really did demonstrate, proper world building and design and things you need to do to craft more or less a narrative or a narrative element and actually give it like a place in the world. But yeah,
like you said, they gave it history. Like they gave it that big background.
Yes.
That's, man. I don't ever think like that far in advance. I don't know. Like if you're a storyteller or a DM, and you're even if you're using pre-generated like worlds, like the current Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition falls into Faerun, which is like Forgotten Realms instead of Greyhawk, like it used to be, right? And like that has holidays, and that has like marked calendar days on their specific calendar, and like I never focused on those. Never had a reason to, but like why not? Like why didn't I? You know what I mean? So maybe I was focused on like making sure that everyone had something to do, and that the storyline like interwove into their particular backgrounds and whatnot, which was to me as a storyteller or a DM, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So like then you throw in holidays, like man, why not? Why didn't I? Like that's like I think about that now, and I'm like I should have. Like that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, or go as far as to even putting your own language in there, or a couple of them. Holy moly! And then the names derived off the language, and then meaning different things, and ridiculous amount of detail. Of course, I speak of Tolkien. But,
yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do actually have a Tolkien holiday which you can get to. But first, speaking of holidays and games, like something like D&D, in World of Warcraft, obviously the calendar is marked with a ton of holidays to mimic what's happening in the real world, so they can get their play rates back to finish events and stuff. But they have the Feast of Winter Veil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had that in World of Warcraft. The MMO. I remember that.
Yes, and they have a 6-page lore book on it.
That I didn't know. That's interesting.
But yeah, they have this entire thing where they go into the history of why it's created. It was created by it's kind of the merging of two different holidays, one held by the dwarves and one held by the Tauren. Each one marking the change from autumn to winter, the veil of winter falling on Azeroth. And they each speak of being visited by a demi-godlike creature that would bring rewards for those who have done good deeds that year.
Yep.
Yeah. So and then they go into the detail of like how the Tauren and dwarves put aside their hostilities for the season to share this holiday and merge the two together.
For those that don't know, Tauren are the bull people.
Yes, Tauren, and they
I had a paladin Tauren.
That's cool.
That was a long time ago, and it's changed like so much since then. I don't even know what it looks like anymore.
I loved like the Tauren lands and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
like the Tauren lands because it was very Native American, and my family is Native American. Not that I follow by a lot of that stuff, but I definitely like could appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like the work that was put in to give it that aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, honestly, they
I like trolls personally.
Yeah.
I had a druid troll, but I didn't too much care for that. Go ahead, Tam. Sorry.
Let's say I believe when they were writing a lot of like the Tauren stuff, they did talk with like some leaders and like keepers of history from like different tribes and like what's culturally important. Yeah. To really flesh out the world that they're building, but yeah, they I think it's really interesting the fact they went into detail not just for like the ancient history of the holiday, but like the modern history. Like, okay, what happens when you have like two cultures that are in just fighting each other, but they realize they kind of share this like weird middle ground. Yeah, and they kind of get borrowed a little bit from the merging of Christmas and Saturnalia and from our own historical backing. But yeah, it's and then they turned it into a reason to log on and get a goat from a vendor.
That's right.
Well, yeah, so what they do is they had, I can't remember what it was called, but you would have this birthday cake that you go and pick up, and it was like you would get 10% extra everything for during the season. So like XP, gold, all that stuff. It was really awesome. I think it was 10% more of everything. And that was awesome. I mean, you could really push some characters up. It got rid of 10% of the grind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that also it's kind of, when you're creating like an event or a holiday specifically for a game or some form of interactive medium, it needs to be like the narrative element is always like appreciated by lore nerds and it's cool, but actually, also ingraining it mechanically is very important because it gives people a reason to do that.
Right. And like I know there's certain games, like I play Ark and they have different holiday events, and one of them was turkey trials, and you have to do so many things. And during Halloween they have this thing called like the Dodo Rex, which they take basically a T-Rex or whatever, and they make it look like the skin of a dodo, like the dodo bird. Dodo birds are like an animal that just walks around in an arc. Like,
yeah, that's kind of like your start off animal to kill and to tame and stuff, right?
Yeah. And so then they turn that thing into like this monstrous T-Rex sized, super powered, like the stats on it just are through the roof. It's just ridiculous.
OMG.
But like they want you to have to work to be able to kill it. You know what I mean? You get the 10 animals, you're gonna lose some. It's ridiculous. But like, I mean, that's one thing that they have, like, you know what I mean? And like even in a game like Ark, like I felt Ark was just straight up MMO. Like there was no real, I don't know. I didn't realize there was a story to it to begin with.
Right.
I played. I was like, oh hey, by the way, this game has dinosaurs. Well, I'm in. I don't even have to know the details. It's got dinosaurs. I'm in.
And poo.
Right? Dinosaurs and poo.
Every now and then you hear, and you look down and you've just pooed.
Yep.
Very detailed game.
Very true.
Yes. Oh, that was one thing that if you think about it, they mentioned this on G4 for on Boosted, one of their shows. But playing through Halo Infinite's campaign, it's open world, so there's a lot of explore and everything. It's traditional open world game, so adventuring, day, night, cycle, all that. All the while you're in Master Chief's armor, and you just kind of wonder, like, man, if he has to like poop in this thing,
potty break, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's one of those suits the Fremen have. That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. It just recycles everything. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta imagine that by the time he gets to the end of it, he strips off the armor. It's got to be there's some musk in there.
Right. Like I was so excited playing. Was it Guardians? And
Oh
at
yeah,
the end, you see Master Chief walking in with the people. He goes to that spinny thing that pulls his armor off. I'm like, oh crap, we're gonna see what Master Chief looks like. No,
nope.
it cuts. Oh,
Yes.
I got my hopes up for nothing.
I have read through the first 3 of the Halo books, so I have an idea of what Master Chief looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, I read the Fall of Reach, and then
Yes.
something else after that. Fall and
Yeah, it's so good. I have another set that I need to get through, but I think I'll probably end up collecting all 14 of them at some point.
nice.
Ready?
Yeah,
So
I
we got
think I mentioned this before. Going into not to like change our subject, but
No,
going
no, good.
into Halo Reach, like I knew what the outcome was because I
Oh
read
yes,
Fall of
yeah,
Reach, right? Like you already know what the outcome is, but you have to play through it anyway.
yeah.
And like you get to like certain characters when things happen to certain characters, you're like, no,
Right, yeah,
sadness.
yes. Or they just say, they go out in a way that gives you a tear of joy, like a meal, a tear of pride.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
But yeah, I like Halo. Sorry.
I love Halo. It's my favorite shooter franchise. Absolutely.
Whenever I was youth pastoring years ago, we would some of our youth nights would be projecting it up on a wall with a projector and just having a free for all. We had 2 Xboxes, 2 projectors, and man, we would just have so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd all take turns. If somebody got knocked off, then another person would, get on.
Next person steps in.
Yes.
Yep. It was so cool.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we got some intense setups when we were running our fireworks tent with the youthers in there. We got it got to the point where we had 4 TVs, 4 Xboxes. We had like a mobile router and we'd run 4 teams of 4 and put together these rotating tournaments, keeping tracks of like win-loss records.
I almost missed Gen Con because of like a little LAN party. I'm surprised my wife didn't break up with me before we even got married because of that. We paid we paid so we can get into Gen Con, spend the entire day there. Went early, stayed the night at my friend's house in Indianapolis, and woke up the next day playing LAN Halo, and it was over. She's like, "Are we ever gonna go to the con?" Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Right.
Let's go.
I know, man. It is like that. After Halo, I sunk pretty deep into Call of Duty, and it was good, but it just wasn't the same.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like the older stories, like was it Battlefield 1 was set in World War One.
Yeah.
And the first Call of Duty or the second Call of Duty was like back in the Korean War or something like that, and like or further back. I'm not sure which one it was, but I like the older wars when I play a game. Like I need to get Vanguard.
Yeah, that to me is where I kind of started getting out of it when they started getting robotic and futuristic and all that stuff. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah,
I played. I think probably the last one that I have, and I actually bought Advanced Warfare, but man, I just couldn't play it. It was just like jumping around and running across walls and jetpacking up, and I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't get into that.
It was trying to do what Titanfall did, but not as good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's about the time I checked out.
Yeah.
I think the last good one that I liked was Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts, but it was a little futuristic, and that's when I was kind of leaning, but probably my favorite, and a lot of people either like it or don't like it, was probably Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Those were the best to me. Well, of the later ones. Now, I really liked Modern Warfare. Was it 2? I think Modern Warfare 2. I've got some more here, but I just never played them.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 2 is also what kind of caused esports to be a thing, was when people realized that, oh, you can get much better at this than other people can, and people want to watch that.
And then finally, I got into Battlefield, but I had picked up 4, and man, that thing, I played through the campaign, and the campaign was so quick. It was like it was over before it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I played it literally. I think I had it beat in 4 or 5 hours, which was
That's how I felt about Cold War.
It was very fast.
Cold War was really short.
Very, very fast, and I never did play online with it.
Battlefield for me has always been a series that has been primarily multiplayer, because I got into it with like ground floor with in 1942, and that was multiplayer only. Same with Battlefield 2, and then 2142 was, I think it had a little bit of a campaign, but that was the campaign was literally just training wheels for multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah. But
it just so happens that 4, the one that I came in on, was when they had pushed it out too quick. So there was a lot of content that wasn't even on it when I got it. There was a lot of controversy over it because the campaign was so absolutely shorter than any other. And there was a lot of stuff just missing from the multiplayer, and it wouldn't see that stuff until they re-released it. And it made a lot of people very, very angry. Kind of like the whole Star Wars Battlefront debacle. That's the way it was.
Yeah, I remember the everything happening, people just blasting it for coming out. Basically, when EA said not when the game was actually ready, and that's when about the time I was think Halo 3, we're about entering like Halo 4 time, and also not the best mechanics wise or multiplayer wise. So I played them for the story, and then did I think I was playing Tribes Ascend at the time, which is a cut that no one will get. But and then switched over to Destiny when Destiny came out. But Tribes was a game that was played by about 2,000 people for a few years.
You say that. There's one game that I feel it was like an MMO game, but it was almost like Civilization, but you raise up your own deity or something like that, and it can be
Black and White.
Yeah. I never played it, but I watched it. I think I watched a couple people play it in passing only, and I was like, that's kind of neat, but I've never played it.
It's really interesting. It's unfortunately it's abandonware now, so it's the rights are in kind of legal limbo, so no one knows who could republish it, and you can.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so and you can't really find a download for it anywhere outside of a few less than legitimate sites.
Well worded.
Yeah, but it was really interesting. Essentially, the way the game worked is you were a minor deity.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and you're walking the line between being a benevolent or malevolent deity, so you can pick either the white path or the black path, and will change the way that your society reflects them because they reflect their mode of worship, and you're just trying to get your society out from, I believe it's a god of chaos or something, is trying to break the planes apart. So you're just trying to walk your civilization across these different planes to a place where they'll be safe from the chaos point things apart.
See, that game is weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's fun. Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't get to play.
The last though. I got some other fictional holidays you could think about. But has anyone had a chance to think about holidays that they have enjoyed in media or things that they've thought about?
I don't know if we actually do any like weird things like we celebrate ourselves.
We have traditions that we do during holidays, but a lot of those traditions, most of them actually we made up, or they came along after we were married, and they really got solidified a lot whenever we had our first child. Before that, it was just kind of up in the air. My family didn't really have much in the way of traditions except for opening Christmas presents on Christmas Eve, but that's usually because most of the family would be around that time. I don't really know about the other though.
I don't think of any fictional holidays that you've taken note of, and
I'm trying to think of any from movies that I've seen, and I can't really think of any. A lot of them really just, of course, like we've already talked about, mimic ones we already have.
Like, I'll be honest, I never actually gave fictional holidays even a thought like before. Like, I'm sure I probably did, but you know what I mean, when it occurred, but like not ever, you know what I mean, gave it a second thought other than when I watched something.
Well, there's here's one that is we did talk about Lord of the Rings earlier and a holiday from Tolkien, but this one is of important in the Fellowship of the Ring. It's Durin's Day.
Yeah.
But the
dwarves?
Yeah. So yeah, and that's how they're able to get into the secret door and more in the Lonely Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the Hobbit. I mean, not the Fellowship, but the the events that go into how Durin's Day occurs. It's perhaps the most convoluted thing I've ever heard. So it's it's a particularly rare event celebrated by dwarves. It's the new year of the calendar, which is the last cycle of the moon. There autumn on the threshold of winter, and on the day where both the sun and the moon can be seen in the sky together. So so it has to be both like a year where the sun and the moon line up and don't cause an eclipse, and it's the first day of that moon before winter and autumn.
Oh, once, not even once a year. That can't even fall in once a year, right?
Right. Yeah. It has to be a very particular full moon and the last full moon of autumn.
I can see that conversation going on when they're casting the spell to protect the door and whatnot. And the dwarves just being over there. Or if you're drunk.
Yes. Well,
really drunk.
Yes. This is something I noticed watching an episode of actually, but dwarves, especially during the time of Durin, are particularly underground people. Some of them may have lived their entire lives without seeing the sky.
Right.
So for them to celebrate this holiday, they're just kind of like, it's Durin's Day. Is it? All right. I don't know what that means.
Who went out to check?
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be a great job. That'd be the one job, the one dwarf, sole generational job is to go check and see if the moon and the sun are in the sky together.
And of course, so then be tracking, the seasons enough to know that like it's almost winter. Like we've gone through like 2 months of autumn, so we're about to expect.
I will be right back, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so that's
interesting. I didn't realize how much like work they put into it. And is it like Tolkien or whoever creates the particular holiday? Is it do they create it? Do they create all like the the details or circumstances that lead to it, or is
Yeah,
there somebody
Tolkien created a couple different like full like calendars for Arda, which is the world of Middle Earth, like as a great part. So we for the most part we know the dwarf and elven calendar as well as the calendar of men and the hobbits. I think hobbits follow the calendar of man, but there's like 3 calendars with like their own unique set of holidays and like different New Years. Yeah. So
I know that I used to read like before I no, I can't even say that. But while I was growing up, got introduced to Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. The first books I started reading were actually the Dragonlance books, right?
yeah,
The Chronicles and all that, and they had like they would mention different holidays or different things, and they actually put out a book. Like I'm sure everybody's. I think even like even Tolkien, the Hobbit stuff, Middle Earth has a cookbook and stuff like that.
yeah.
This actually had calendars and what they did to celebrate. And I used to have it like back in the day, like a bigger paperback one.
Yeah.
Had Kinder granola that you put in there, because Kinder being one of the races on Kryn.
Yeah.
Instead of halflings, they had Kinder, and Kinder were like kleptomaniacs.
Yes.
I didn't realize they were stealing it. All of a sudden, their hands are in your pouch, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know how I got there. You must have moved your pouch into the range of my hand. That's your fault."
Yeah.
So yeah, they had interesting holidays. Like the elves had holidays. So like, it doesn't surprise me that, and obviously, Tolkien stuff is older than Dragonlance and all those other role-playing campaign worlds.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. I don't remember specifically, but I know that they had him in there because I feel that me and my friend and his wife at the time like planned to celebrate one of the holidays by making the stuff in the book for that holiday.
That's awesome.
I know for a fact she made the bread that was in there, which was pretty good. But like we did that. Yes. I think if you're a gamer, it's gonna happen regardless. Yeah. At one point, you're gonna find a cookbook for the particular role playing stuff you do, and you're gonna make the recipes that are in it. Like if you don't make it, you're gonna convince your significant other to do it for you. And if she's not a role player, then she's gonna look at you funny and do it because she loves you. And then afterwards, you're gonna hear about it 4 years later.
Then you take it to like a weird level with that, where you get like the official like licensed Destiny cookbook.
What?
So, yeah, and this has like holidays that they have in the tower and stuff. So,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I did not know that book existed.
Yeah. So let's see. They have so they have like the different holidays to celebrate in the tower, and the I gotta crack open the spine a little bit, and the menus that you would serve, like the courses you'd serve for that holiday and stuff.
That's cool.
We are still planning on doing a stream of cooking from the Destiny cookbook when the expansion comes out next year.
Excuse me. That's the book you were talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember you mentioning about cooking from a particular book. I didn't remember what it was. Okay. I think that's the first time I've ever seen the cover for it, though.
My Star Wars book's kind of full over there. But yeah, it's one of those things that the world building really does a lot for it. I think it's kind of funny. One holiday that is entirely fictional that me and some of my friends do celebrate. I believe is it November 4th? I'll say it's November 4th. 25th of May. I was way off. 25th of May is Tal Day, aka the end of the world in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so we get everyone together. We walk around with towels around our shoulders all day, and we watch Hitchhiker's Guide.
Nice. That's cool. I've seen, because it used to be a series, right? A series in England.
Yeah, it has.
I
It has
I've seen
but
some of the old episodes.
yeah, it of course it's a book. There's 2 different movies of it. There's an audio drama which apparently is really good, like they did over the radio, and then there was a BBC show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I've seen a couple episodes because I thought that they were old Doctor Who episodes which I didn't really follow back then when I saw it. But like as I, later on as I started watching more Doctor Who, I was like, oh wait, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I actually liked the movie. I thought the movie was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I never watched it. I almost watched it a few times, but never did get back around to it.
Alan Rickman, dude. Alan Rickman does the voice in it.
Yeah. Mos Def also plays an alien, and the guy who played the Hobbit, for his name, Martin Freeman, is he plays Martin, not Martin. I think it's John, because Martin is the
it's his real name.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, it's a fun ride. If you get a chance, which is also funny because the movie it keeps the same elements, but intentionally they kept it wildly different from the book.
Yeah.
Like each version apparently is wildly different from each other, and that's done by intention. The author, like when they licensed it, the author requested that they keep everything like wildly different.
That's cool.
Yeah, the book, you can get it on Audible. It's voiced by Stephen Fry, and he does a wonderful job with that.
I've heard his name. I can't place him now.
He was on a show called A Bit of Fry and Laurie with Hugh Laurie in the 90s. And he's also...
Yes. Yeah. I faintly remember now. Yeah.
I believe he also played Sherlock's brother in the Robert Downey Jr. movies. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the reporter guy in V for Vendetta.
Yes.
That was like reporting next to Natalie Portman.
Yes.
I remember him. I had to see his face.
Yeah. He is some wild range because he's done that. And then he was in A Bird of Fry and Laurie where one of the sketches featured him portraying a barber that spoke only in Shakespearean verse.
That sounds funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's fantastic. So we're about a half hour away from the end of our last show of the year.
Show of the year.
Yeah, it's wild. Quentin, I think I overheard you earlier. You said you had maybe some dioramas, or
yes, the big one that I've been working on. Hadn't been able to do any drawings, so I'm gonna turn my camera off for just a second if I can figure out how. Here we go.
Sure.
And then when I turn it back on, it'll be here.
The camera's now being moved throughout the Quentin verse.
Yes.
I know, right?
Yes. Through the dirty office of Quentin Bedwell. Okay. Maybe that's right. Let's see. And
yes.
There it is. Wow, I did it actually perfect.
Yeah, that's like spot on. Yeah.
Yep. This took, somebody asked me, how long did this take you? It probably took me, counting mistakes and just kind of reconnoitering about how I'm going to do everything. It probably took about 8 to 10 hours, something like that. Just kind of pan around, and I was showing before the show. It was actually a little bit empty, but the characters that I have, these are NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1990 movie, and which I always wanted as a kid, but they never put them out. And then they put out Playmates put out some kind of movie star, blah, blah, blah line. But anyway, I had to get these, and part of getting the figures is I just told myself, if I'm going to have these figures, if I'm going to spend this much money, I'm going to really dress them up good, and do dioramas or at least stands, for them.
Yeah.
And
the light's so cool.
Yeah, and so the lights change. Let me see if I can get it to change. There we go, auto. Yeah. So what I've got pretty much for the lights is just puck lights. And by the way, this is all in just a cardboard box. I have them sticking up there where I can actually change the batteries. It sits up on my top shelf up there, so you can't even see it. But this is just a box that has foam inside of it.
Yeah.
I was just going through stuff, and I was thinking about my Lord of the Rings diorama that I'm working on, which I got one of them. I got the detail shelf diorama, but and I was just looking through in the garage, and I saw this box, and I was like, this is the perfect size for everything, and that's what started it. But the door opens here. There's no hole in the back or anything. It's just black, which fascinates my son. It fascinates my son. It's like, are you going to cut that out, or are you going to keep it black? And he asks me that every single time. But these little signs and stuff, that is just something I printed out on the printer.
Nice.
And like these right here, and I just put Mod Podge on them to kind of give them a shine, and then painted Mod Podge on there to stick them down. This is the same thing, printed off of a printer, and then I put it on some cardboard. The chairs and couch here, these I did not make. I bought them from Hobby Lobby, but then after spending the $20 for them, I had to go back with a wire brush and sandpaper and some wash, and just kind of give them the stain look, and also give them the holes and the just the old worn look, like somebody died on it and they were there for a few days.
Sure.
And this is made out of popsicle sticks. Well, that's gone. It's made out of popsicle sticks.
Nice.
But yeah, all in all, it came out much better than what I thought it would. These are snuff cans. The pipes that you see, you can actually buy those on Amazon. They're very hard to paint. You have to sand them down first for paint to be able to stick to them. What I do with everything is I put Mod Podge on it first, but you have to have a rough surface. Anytime you paint plastic, you need to rough it up really good. I learned that when I was airbrushing. You just rough it up really good with like a scratch pad or something. And usually it'll take paint, but Mod Podge helps a lot. But I actually had a different plan. I was going to do a rail up here, and I actually had steps made. But, once I put Mikey in here, he was the first one that I opened. These things have been in the box on my shelf for ages now. When I opened him and put him in there, I was like, wow, this thing looked really big. But by the time I get the whole crew in here, it's going to shrink down really fast. So I just dropped the whole rail. I had the rail made. I had the steps made, but I just, this would look better. This looks, And of course, my son asks, how do they get from here to here? And I just say, well, they jump on the couch. They're turtles.
They're ninjas.
Yes.
Well, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was really fun doing it. And if you can't draw and if you can't stay in, I have to be doing something creative, like I said earlier, for therapy. I mean, just life happens, and it's really good to have some sort of release, some sort of escape. And man, I get on this in the zone on this stuff, and I just, I get in. I call it the madness, and that's what it is. It's a madness. Once you get into something and you're really into it, you know what I'm talking about. It gives you I don't know, you just get this drive, and you don't think about sleep. You don't think about eating. You don't think about, I mean, I stood from the time I'd get off in the evening at 5 o'clock, which I've cranked my desk up to stand up. I'm not standing right now because I've been standing all day. But I would stand from the time I got off work all the way to the time I'd go to bed, which would be about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sheesh.
And I would just be, because I would have not just this one and not just that other one over there, but I also have like 2 others that are in the works. Because I have quite a few figures. I think I've shown before. Everything's a little dark right now, but I have quite a few figures, and I don't want to just, have them in here just lined up. Of course, I'm going to have to do that with my Marvel because there's so many. I have so many legends, but I want to do something with them. Something cool.
Absolutely. That's
so that's the figure news. Also, I did pick up these that I've been waiting for a long time. I've still got a couple coming. I've got Mr. Fantastic. This is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I don't really care. I've never cared for these. Whenever they do the characters that are translucent, I just don't really care for them. I don't know if y'all do. They just never look right to me. So I'm much happier with that Johnny Storm up there. But anyway, so I'm doing a little wall of those. But yeah. Yep. Either of y'all do any crafting? I know you do, Tim, because I know you do the terrain, and you do also the painting, right? The army painting.
Yes. Yeah, I do some army painting. I have. I'm going to take a second here to actually shout out one of something I'm working on right now. Another group that I am putting together. Let me go here. Share screen. We're going to do a specific application. Yeah. Okay, there you are. Yeah, this is so I also put together makeshift tools.
Yeah.
Yogurt and 25 cents of sticky tack to create a rattle can handle.
Nice.
Well, I have a box now set up that I have like all kinds of different stuff, little bits and bobbles, just from crazy stuff like those snuff cans. I had that in there, and then I have these things. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but they're these little circular things that are in the. Anybody got a Keurig in here?
Yeah.
No.
Well, if you open up those little cups, there's these little filters in there. They're plastic, and they kind of look like hubcaps, but they kind of look like they could be something else. And I just haven't figured out what yet. So they're in my. I got about 10 of them, and they're gonna show up somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that looks awesome.
Yeah, so these I'm doing kind of like a synthwave style army. So I use like 3 layers of green on their stone pieces where I turn the last layers, I turn the paint into a glaze and just lay that over whatever is around it to give it like a glow effect. So at a distance, it looks like it's glowing. I also use...
Also, the yellow on there isn't dry brush?
So, yes, it is dry brush, yeah.
Okay.
So I do a deeper set green. I dry brush a neon green, and then I turn that neon green into a glaze and put that around it.
Gotcha.
I also do a little bit of stenciling with white to add layers to the text and stuff in there, and the rivets in their cloth things. And I'm using a crystalline paint, so it's not actually a paint. I paint everything like all this stuff like a matte black, and then I put a crystalline in there that reflects light, so it gives it this glow effect. And so when you actually like move it under light, it'll look like it's rippling because it'll reflect different ways. So it looks like the old school holograms.
So do you start with black first normally?
Yes. So some people start darkest and then work our way up to lightest, which I do sometimes. It's just kind of coincidence on this one where What I'm doing is I'm actually doing the most mass to the least mass. So the black is taking up the most mass because it's also all the way on the back. So I do the black and then I do the blues, and then the greens and the pinks, and it just happens to to line up perfectly both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
I love your color choices there. That's
Yeah. I
really well.
I love Warhammer stuff, but I always find that I want to do something a little different with the paint scheme, so I figured why not go synthwave. But yeah, we do a lot of like custom basing or terrain stuff. So we did a little bit of a shoot, but we have these little houses that custom wall there.
And what do y'all make those houses out of? Like cork board or foam or what?
Those ones are, I believe, actually, not corkboard. I think that actually is a form of ply. That's just super thin.
There's MDF, or some people call it chipboard.
Yeah.
It's really thin.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So those are chip, and then the walls and stuff we make out of foam.
Right.
But yeah, that's what we've been crafting.
I start from black as well. I have like I mix up. Of course, I don't use any of my expensive paints on here. I just use Createx and Apple Barrel, whatever I can get my hands on for the dioramas, because you waste a lot of paint mixing it and stuff. But I usually start from black, and what I'll do is I have black mixed in with Mod Podge.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Black Magic Craft, are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
He does terrain, and let me tell you, if you ever watch him, he is a contractor in real life, but he has this amazing setup, and all he does is run D&D games, and he makes stuff for their games, and he builds something every week, and it's just amazing, and it's easy, and he goes through the dry brushing and just gives you all sorts of ideas. I suggested it's called Black Magic Craft. That dude is so awesome. I learned it from him. You mix the black with the Mod Podge, and you get that first coat and a seal on the foam at the same time.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Really good. But that's terrain. Of course, you wouldn't want to do that with your figures.
Yeah, the figures.
Mod Podge would take away all of your detail.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless they're trying to make your Nurgle figures extra bloated.
Right. Mud people.
Yeah. I use mostly a ton of Citadel and Vallejo. Mostly Vallejo now. Their bottles are so much nicer than the Citadel pots.
Citadel, the older. I don't want to say Warcraft, but
they're the
Warcraft, right? The older.
Citadel is the same company that's owned by Warhammer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that the Vallejo's a little bit cheaper too? I mean, I haven't bought a lot of those paints, but I know they run about the same. But
I feel like you definitely get a bit more bang for your buck with them.
More variety too, right?
More variety, yeah. More variety, more utility. It's a lot easier to change the viscosity on a Vallejo, I feel like, than with the Citadel, because of the way it's structured. With a Vallejo, you're getting the squeeze out. With a Citadel, you need to use if you're doing anything too weird with it, you almost need to use a paint knife just to pull it out of the pot.
No.
Yeah, just so you get like the right amount of control to it. Because if you're going through and using like a scooping brush, you're going to be going back and forth between the pot and your water a bit. But that, and there's a new company which I think they're independent. But they're the ones who do that the crystalline, and they do also have like some standard colors, but they're called Turbo Dork. The points for the name, but the way they do things, then they experiment with like different color setups. It's fantastic.
So do you use any sort of like magnifying devices, like anything like that, or is your eyes just fine? Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
So for when I'm actually working with them, I have 3 different types of handles. I have the homemade rattle can handle that I showed you, which is great because you don't need to worry about getting like residue in any springs and anything, or getting propellant stuck in anywhere. But then I get to have some spring action ones for different sizes of base that also have small little ergonomic grips, so I use those to move models around. And then after I wait for them like a full day for everything to settle, and then I just pick them up upside down with my hands, and that's when I paint the bases.
Yeah. Well, I know with me, I am nearsighted, but I have to usually wear contacts. So, that's an issue. Because now I'm at the age where, crazy enough, if I wear my contacts, I can see far, but I'm not really good at seeing close.
Yeah.
But if I take my contacts out, I have like microscopic vision. It's crazy. You're there too, aren't you, Jose?
I am. Well, I've worn glasses since like 6th grade, but and I'm nearsighted as well. But I used to I would have to wear glasses to drive, and then normally I used to be able to take my glasses off and see the computer screen just fine, and like I normally work without my glasses on, just because everything up close is like perfectly fine. I always work like this, like I'm always like this close, just because it's a relaxing to me to be that close to my paper, you know. But then when my eyes went bad, like I couldn't even do that.
Oof.
Like even up close stuff was like super blurry, and so like
man,
I have to wait a month. I have to wait a month for my eyes to like be done healing, and then I get to get new prescriptions, which is funny because I have 2 different prescriptions. I have one that I got before I came home from Pennsylvania. You know, we got it when we were in Pennsylvania right before we left, and then like probably about a month or 2 before we left, and then we got home and like my eyes are not doing something. They're doing something weird. I don't get it. So I went and had my eyes checked again. So I was like perfectly. I was determined that the guy at the optometrist screwed up my glasses, screwed up my prescription, and like,
that's why I felt.
Figure out why. And so, I mean, since then I realized it was actually my fault because I didn't take care of myself and diabetes ravaged my eyes. But ever since, so I had the older pair that I used for driving, and I had these, which were the most recent. And neither one of them were working, right? So ever since my eye surgery, the older pair, when I put them on, works really well with this eye, right? My left eye, which on the screen I think is backwards, but like with my left eye, my older glasses lets me see really far. And since having my right eye surgery, these newer ones help my right eye to see really far. And just as an experiment, I was sitting at my desk, and like across my living room, because I'm in my living room and my work area, and across the living room is our TV. And with my glasses on, I could see it in one eye, but not the other. So I took them and I adjusted them on my face, so one this way and the other one this way.
Yeah,
and sure enough, like, they worked. They were perfect. Like doing it, I was like, if I could like just break them and like solder them together, that'd be great.
Yeah, then you could look like a doofus all the time.
I know, right? One eye,
but you can see.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what do I care what people think? I'd be able to see. But I'll just wait. I'll wait.
Who's looking at each other anymore anyway? I mean, we're stuck at home. I know I am. I mean,
right. Like I didn't like going out in public before COVID, so like staying at home for COVID didn't really bother me much.
Yeah, no, I've just gotten really good at Destiny.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm at an age where like I have to wear glasses to see far away, and I have to take them off. And before I got my surgery, they had already told me, like, listen, like Mr. Fuentes, in a year or so, you're gonna need bifocals. I'm like, no, no, I won't.
Yep.
And now I won't.
I got a message. When's Team Build 2 coming out? I don't know if we have that announcement yet, so keep your eyes posted to the socials. Yeah.
Oh, the Christmas specials has been shipped out. I saw some people have already gotten theirs.
Yeah. I got a message from one of my someone I know who ordered it, and they sent me a tag in the credits. I'm like, oh, that's super sick.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to look at it. I cannot wait to see it.
I know, I'm so excited. Like I saw,
I can't wait to see
a
everybody
couple
else's
people got 'em.
stories.
They posted on there that, oh, look, I got my Silverline. I'm like, I haven't
Yeah.
got my yet.
I went out and checked. I checked my mail today just in case, but yeah, I haven't got it yet.
Mr. Fred, I will tell you that I'm working on Trumps 3 at the moment. I don't know if you're into Trumps at all, but 3 and 4 is probably going to ship together because there's another fellow. He's just a penciler over from the UK named Peter, and he is working on 4 at the same time I'm working on 3. So that's probably going to be in one book.
Yeah, that's cool. I have issue 1. I got it.
Yep.
Issue 1. I have issue. No, actually, I have issue 1 and 2. I think. Maybe. I don't remember. I had to look. It's in my box. But I got them because Thomas Headland sent me one. So whichever.
Yeah, that boy good.
No.
I know.
I wish he had time to do more stuff, man. I'm really interested to see what he's gonna do, where he's gonna go.
Yeah, the amount of new talent that got pulled into Silverline, either from Full Sail or from why am I looking? Jose, what school did you go to? Hubert. Yes, Hubert. Yeah.
I was gonna wait to let you sweat it for a minute.
Yeah, no. Oh man, from Full Sail Hubert School, and the amount of new stuff that is coming out, especially with this new line that we talked about this before, but the new line of stuff that's coming out, it's going to be really exciting to see where that leads to.
Yep.
It was Wave 2.
Yeah, already got some of it announced with Night Rise, and I'm working on something which I'm very excited for, which is so far unannounced. But we may be getting the ability to announce it soon. We got the last of the character sketches in, I believe, and just waiting on notes to finalize the first script before it starts getting art done. So yeah.
Like if without giving away anything, that's you showed us a couple things for that, right?
Yes.
A while back, a couple weeks ago or so. That was super cool.
Fred, we love you for it.
Right?
Yes. We definitely appreciate you're the reason we can keep on doing what we do.
Cool. Yeah, we enjoy doing it, and I don't know about you guys, maybe I do know, but I love reading the stuff. Like I have not seen 4. I don't know the plot of 4 of Trump's. I can't wait to see it. I remember when I first got the script for 1, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow, this is cool. And I cannot wait to see. I can't wait to see the script in this one. But I cannot wait to see 4 and see how it ends up.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
We have, aren't we? I could be wrong on the numbers, but aren't we on working on the last issue or second to the last issue for Friar Rush as well? That storyline's getting close, I think.
I believe one's close to being done as well.
Yeah,
that's Aaron's book, right?
Yep.
Or Aaron working on it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aaron's book Aaron's artwork is for obsolete as well, and I was just waiting for my eye surgery to get my bionic eye so I can start working on the ink on those again. I'm so glad. I can't even emphasize that enough. I truly wake up blessed just because I'm like, yes, finally, I can see things. And so Monday I waited. I gave myself the weekend because when I had my left eye done, it took a weekend for me to really get back to normal.
Yeah.
Day one had real bad double vision, and day 2 and part of 3 I had this red hue that I couldn't get rid of. So everywhere I looked, it wasn't even my whole eye was red. It was covered this much of it. So like most of it was red and then regular color over here. It was really off. And then third day, I went outside and there was so much light and information coming in. It gave me a huge headache.
Oh yeah, I can
So
imagine.
I budgeted 4 days for my right eye, and it only took a couple. Like by Sunday, I was fine. Like even stepping outside, I was fine.
Nice.
So like once Monday rolled around, my wife's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm working." Like I can see I'm getting back to work.
Yeah.
Did you have
that moment where you the first time you boot your iPad back up and you're like, oh, that line is way off.
I pulled out a couple sketch covers that I worked on when my eyes were not working right, and I've already erased part of them because I had to. Like one of them is like a cover I'm doing for my local comic shop. I was like, oh gosh, how did I even let that slide? Why did I even do that when I knew my eyes were bad? Like I just wanted to get something to show them that, hey, I'm not pushing this aside. You know what I mean? So now I have to go back and clean it all up. And then I'm happy to have like I said, my eyesight back because I have to do a Supergirl sketch cover and I have to draw I'm gonna mess up the name, but the character's name is Kurabara from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a commission for that, and I'm excited to do it because I roughed out while my eyes were down. I roughed out the how I'm going to lay it out. And I'm excited for that. It's really cool.
Well, it is about that time.
I need to get that done.
It is about that time again. It is closing in on 10 o'clock. And again, this is going to be our last Tuesday show this year. We'll be back in January. Until then, I'll be sure to catch out the Silverline Christmas party on Wednesday, the 22nd. And I believe we'll also have a Wednesday and Sunday show this week. But we do have some socials that you can follow us at the meantime. I'm going to run them at the bottom of the screen here, but why don't we just go around and start with Quentin. Where can people find you? What work of yours can people go read while we're on break, or look at, ingest in some way?
Well, I've got let's see, got the Christmas story, got 2 stories in there, Night Rise and also Wolf Hunter, Night Rise written by Mackenzie Workman and Wolf Hunter written by Mr. Tim. And also, let's see, I've got Relic Quest, which is a board game, which you can get on GameCrafter.com. It's got a little bit of writing in there, but mostly gameplay. Eventually, whenever I get ahead of all of this, I'm going to do a comic for that. And it's going to be a huge world building operation. And there will be actually room for other writers to come in and actually do stuff in it as well.
Tim can do your holiday.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, we can come up with holidays.
Heck yeah.
Festivus. We'll put Festivus in there. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I'm usually pretty central to Facebook and Instagram. I do have stuff on DeviantArt under QJB, but you can just follow my name, Quentin J. Bedwell, or Quentin Bedwell, and find most of anything that you need to see of mine. There's some covers from a long time ago that I did. If you type my name in and you see them, don't pay any attention to them. They're very old and very salty.
And answer Fred's question here real quick before we pass it on to Jose. So we do have a option for retailers to buy bundles in bulk when we launch pre-sales. Some of them have done that, but that's unique to each individual shop, not every shop. We sell through Indie Planet for the most part, and now through Indiegogo as well. The reason why we don't have a mainstay in comic shop retailers is it's a little inside baseball, but essentially there's a few distributors, one real big one for floppies, but that there's more now than there was 2 years ago, but less than there was 10 distributors for comic books.
Yep.
And they need you to have if you're running a title through them, they need to have that new issue out every month. So we're waiting for these issues to finish their volumes, and then we'll then we're trying to solicit them to then essentially do a re-release through shops traditionally. So so give it some time. It's going to be coming in the future, we hope. But it just takes some time to get them out in the first place, and then they should be.
And I'd like to say Silverline right now has been pretty much in phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving up. I mean, we're getting more people. That's another thing. So, it's a growing, and it's growing very fast as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that to look forward to. But and everything that Tim said.
Yeah.
When you get to the point where you start seeing issue 4s up for pre-order, that's when you should be able to, if everything works out, they should be expecting them to maybe show up in shops sometime after that if they get solicited. All right. Jose, where can people find you? What of your stuff can they take in over the break?
The Christmas special for Silverline specifically. I've done stuff in the past that I don't show people, but I just got for I think he still has some actually, but I just some digital colors or digital inks and traditional inks for Pickle Press and out of Indiana, and but Silverline I did I inked in the Kalis story in the Christmas special. So if you didn't order the Christmas special, go steal it from your neighbor. And I'm working on Obsoletes, back on it, like I said, grinding it out because I want to give it the love it deserves, but I wanted to be able to see it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, wait for that to come out. Like I'm excited for it. I'm loving the pages. I love Aaron's artwork. Like this, Aaron Humphreys did the pencils for it, and they're so much fun. Like Aaron has a very unique style, and it's fun, and he gives me a lot of liberties for what I want. For my particular inking style, he gives me liberties, and I bounce ideas off him. He's pretty cool about it.
Cool.
So I'm excited.
And much like these other two guys, you can find my most recent thing in the Silverline Christmas special, Wolf Hunter, arted by one Mr. Quentin Bedwell. No, just for the heck of it, you can also go read the Vessel by Tim TK and Page and Spine from 5 years ago. It won an award, but I just figured I could throw that out there. It's no longer relevant, but yay, why not? It's a short story.
Hey, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Right.
But the what you
You should lead with that, Tim. My award-winning.
Yes.
Award-winning.
The artist spotlight from I think is 2007, 2016. But you can actually follow my most recent stuff at twitch.tv/agrobacon for competitive Halo content and funny Destiny moments. And I got some highlights I need to clip together from the most recent Destiny dungeon that we ran blind. I think I'd also was a shot of whiskey into the night at the door for that raid, so that was a lot of fun. And follow Tabletop Collective on YouTube and at TTC Den on Twitter for Lord of the Rings wargaming. So,
interesting.
Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome.
We have been That Silverline Show on Tuesday. It has been our pleasure to serve you. You can catch us again next year, but we can see us again next time at the Silverline Christmas special. And remember to pick up your Silverline Christmas book, to read our most recent things.
That's right. It's on in demand, right? On Indiegogo.
It's on Indiegogo in demand, and I believe it'll be on Indie Planet here shortly. Yeah.
Nice.
All righty. Well, we'll catch you guys next time. But until that time, make mine
Silverline.
My name is Ross Ritchie from Boom Studios, and make mine Silverline.